Guys! So despite me running a study YouTube channel and, being a pretty good student, I would say that I still have major struggles when I am trying to stay super focused during a study session, staying off my phone and staying off social media, which tends to be very, very distracting. And if you are anything like me, becomes a very quick downward spiral. If you're checking, one reply to something, all of a sudden you've spent 30 minutes on your phone and you're like, oh my God, how did I manage to waste so much time? So I, as a college student, have sort of figured out how to combat this in a pretty effective way that works for me. This may not work for everyone, but I just thought I would show you guys how exactly it is that I do manage to stay focused for whatever period of time I choose to do so in a bunch of different steps. So without further ado, let's just get started. To be focused, I personally need to be as well rested as I can, given whatever circumstances I am working within. Sometimes there's always that one odd weekend where you're getting very little sleep and doing a ton of schoolwork. But overall, I have found that if I'm tired, I am way more likely to pick up my phone, get distracted, answer some texts, all of a sudden be scrolling through Instagram for quite some time. So I feel like when I am well rested and have enough sleep, I can put my mental energy towards getting things done. And that would be my very first piece of advice for anyone who really wants to have a very focused study session. When I sit down to focus, the very first thing I do is probably intuitive, but I thought I would mention it because it is very important to me, is putting all of my devices on do not disturb mode or airplane mode if I'm feeling a little ballsy. Normally, I just do not disturb so people can contact me if needed. But I also, if really super necessary, use additional website blockers on my computer, which you can do a quick Google search for, or apps on my phone like Forest or Pomodoro timers, which allow me to stay completely focused for whatever period of time I specify and keep me off social media apps. So that's really what I use when I'm very tired, like I said, and am easily distractible. The next thing I do after being on Do Not Disturb is writing out exactly what needs to be accomplished within whatever time parameters I have set in my head for myself. Say I'm in a coffee shop on a Sunday and I need to have some good study time for about 2 hours. I write out small and achievable goals that need to be completed within that time frame. I don't mean my long to-do lists that I've definitely taken pictures of on my Instagram, where I have every single task that needs to be done in every single area of my life at any given moment, but instead what needs to be done within that time frame. That maintains a sense of accomplishment within me, keeps me focused. I find it's easier to get distracted if whatever task I have set for myself isn't easily done or takes a ton of time. So if I have to work on an essay within those 2 hours I was talking about, I'll write out write out the outline for 2 different body paragraphs, find quotes from these sources, things that are very achievable and allow me to check off to make sure I've completed everything. It keeps me very centered and grounded when I have a lot that needs to get done. After getting out my list of everything that needs to get done, I then set myself up to avoid future distractions. So that could look like having my water bottle already filled up, having my coffee ordered and in front of me, making sure that I have snacks if I need them, just so that I can't interrupt my workflow later on. And decide, now I need to go fill my water bottle, and then I end up running into a friend and catching up with them and then getting distracted further. So I like to have everything that I could get distracted with in the future in front of me already, so I can't interrupt that focused flow. So after having all of that set up, the other thing I like to do to avoid future distractions to then stay focused is to make sure I have a good study playlist of the right length and the right type of music for whatever I'm in the mood for or whatever subject I'm studying. So I thought I would finally set up my Spotify account that you guys can see exactly what kind of playlists I use to study for. I have a huge variety of things that I listen to in a different genres, different vibes, different moods, and all of these playlists, by the way, have titles that are based off of lyrics that are in the playlist itself, and I really use these for a variety of purposes, and I sort of tried to create little descriptions for each one so you kind of get a better idea of what I was going for, what my vibe is, what I use these for. But I truly love music. I love having them, but I find that if I'm listening to something and then I need to change it, I then go through that spiral sort of moment where I use time to change what I'm listening to on Spotify and then end up all of a sudden being on social media for like half an hour. So I'm still going to be adding to this account, adding more playlists that I like and things that I do truly listen to that I like love shuffling and just focusing for whatever period of time. I thought I would also quickly go through some playlists that are created by Spotify that I listen to as well, rather than just my own playlists. So in addition, I really like Butter, which is like my biggest like workflow playlist that I use. Cafe con Leche is really, really nice. Mellow Mood, Indie Chill Out, Late Night Jazz, Productive Morning, Low Key, Morning Commute, Late Night Vibes, Mellow Beats, and Jazz Vibes. So these are all different things that I truly do shuffle in addition to the playlist that you see here. So honestly, like something that I found is just like this is the most useful way for me to avoid distractions, because I tend to truly like use changing my music as a avenue for me to then be on social media and be on my phone. So this is one way I avoid it. So if say I'm playing like this playlist for like those 2 hours and 46 minutes, I'm taking only like bathroom breaks if I need it, and really just zoning out and doing my work. The next thing I do to make sure I am super focused is to only take out the essential materials I need for whatever tasks it is that I am working on. So that can look like closing out extra tabs, closing out extra windows or apps on your phone or computer, whatever's around you, keeping only like the notebook or lecture materials out that I actually need for whatever it is I'm working on, things like that. I also put my phone not only on Do Not Disturb or one of those self-control apps like I was speaking about earlier, but also putting it completely out of sight. This could be behind my laptop, this could be in my backpack, or just like under some books or something. I don't want to even see my phone, because as someone who spends an extreme amount of time on their phone, it's really easy for me to sort of just get the urge to check it real quick, just see if anything was happening on GroupMe or on iMessage or whatever. And so to avoid having those urges at all, I literally just keep it where I can't see it at all, and that works well for me. After doing all of those things, which truly takes a lot less time than you actually think it would, it's definitely like less than like 3 or 4 minutes. But after making that my setup for getting in and digging in, doing my work is like, that's it. I'm off to the races, I'm getting my stuff done, and I just like zone in and do my work. Something that I will say is like you really need to figure out what balance of multitasking and focusing works for you as an individual. Like there's a time and place for everything. That could look like having 20-minute blocks of different tasks and like alternating between them so you're not like getting bored. It could be just working on one project and just having breaks in between. But finding out what works best for you is so, so important. And then the last thing I'll say is that after getting through a focused session, whether it's 30 minutes or 3 hours, always reward yourself afterwards. You know, spend time with friends, be on social media, like allow yourself time to relax, watch movies, like do whatever it is that makes you recharged, because running yourself to the ground, always being focused and concentrating is like not really what is best for any individual, in my opinion. So definitely keep a balance in your life, figure out what works well for you, and I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys!